Live? Are we doing it? All right, let's do this. All right, all right. Let's fix the camera. Stop cutting off my head a little bit. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. So this should be fun. This is gonna be fun. Got 11 people already in here. We've got a few people already lined up and ready to get on in. And we have some interesting semi Florida Panthers news esque type of things to talk about in terms of our beloved um, ex head coach. Now, somebody on Twitter um, just said that he was in a golf cart and had his wife with him. So we'll have to pick up. We'll have to pick up. Hey, Stu's here. How's everybody doing? Dan's here. Zachary, Stu, Rosado's here and ready. All right. So let's just give it, guys. Just going to give it just a couple more minutes till we get to maybe 15, 20 people, and then I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull everybody's favorite moderator first. We're gonna hit right to Rosado first. So hey, Frank, how you doing? Sean, everybody's good. So yeah, before we get started, I just like to let everybody know. Stu doesn't even know this yet. I came down. Well, the members know this. The members and the Patreon supporters know this. But today I got a email from Manscaped, and with a week to go, they've already decided to offer me a more permanent type of arrangement. They're actually going to pay me $75 a month and keep sending me more product. So whatever y'all are doing, you're doing it. I can't. I didn't expect. I expected to get, hey man, thanks for giving us a shot, but it wasn't really going to work out. You know what I mean? So I'm stoked about that. To say I was shocked when I got that. So, this month we haven't done we haven't done too much with the Manscaped, right? We've kind of kept it. We've been temperate with it, so that way I didn't want to overwhelm you all. But now, that code's going to be live, man. Code Flying Fluffy, 20% off, free shipping. So, and there's Stu's taking credit. Maybe, Stu. It's the supporters, man. It's all of you all. Okay, we got 21 people in here. Rosado, you ready? Thumbs up. Rosado's ready. All right, let's just pop on in here. Let's see if this is going to work out. Hey, bud, how you doing?
Good.
All right. I hear you. You hear me.
Yes.
And so, everybody's favorite moderator, except for Raven, is with us. This is Rosado. This is the brains behind the Disney vlog. We'll put it that way. How you doing, Rosado?
I'm doing good, man. You?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised to get that email from Manscaped, and now I'm on the hook. Now we can really dive in and make it a little bit more of a permanent fun part. Can't believe it. First chance at a sponsor I get, and I say we knocked it out of the park, because what they told me was that I needed at least 8 people to use the code in the first 30 days. And apparently it's already gone far past that with a week to go. So thank you all. All right, Rosado, what you got for me, man? Give me your best sell. You're the salesman. The sponsor is, I want to pay you to convince me that the Panthers can make the playoffs. Go for it.
Well, first, this team has to stay consistent. And if the team doesn't stay consistent with like 9 wins in a row, we might not even make the playoffs.
What's the key to the consistency, in your opinion?
Goaltending. We need goaltending healthy. And hope Maurice doesn't suck.
Well, Um, as an added bonus, at the very least, he didn't get a DUI today, so we're a step ahead. We're a step ahead there. Um, all right, so yeah, goaltending definitely has been inconsistent, and the frustrating part, like you mentioned with the health, both guys were playing their best hockey of the year when they got hurt, and for Bubba, that was the best he's played for us the entire time he's been here.
without
I
a doubt.
mean, before last season, um, I believe it was before last season, I watched a tremendous amount of film of him in Columbus because I wanted to do, I did that video, How Can He Get Better, right? I did those player videos last year. And the Bubba that I saw on those videos was not here those first 2 years of the Panthers. Wasn't bad, right? But um he was moving so well, and in fact that's what ended up getting him hurt, right? Because he was moving so well and he slammed himself into the post, and the hope is that he can come back playing just as well as he was. So give me some of your ups and downs, the guys that have surprised you to the good and to the bad.
Alex Lyon, first of all, he's been playing really solid for us. He's been making us win games. He kept us in games. I really like that guy. And the downside, um, maybe Colin White.
Yeah.
He has. We were really expecting him for Zito to like find those,
Diamonds in the
Verhage
rough.
likes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, this year was a little bit different when we were trying to do that because in years past we had such a level of talent that we could kind of take a chance on somebody like a Verhage, right? Because we didn't really need him to, we didn't know what we were going to get out of it. Where this year we had holes and we were trying to fill it with basically minimum wage players. And I mean, we know Balsers. I assume I think Balsers actually I guess he got waived by Tampa. I didn't see it, but I saw somebody on Twitter say asked, "Hey, Panthers claim Balsers." So I guess he didn't work out there either.
He was
I
just a
think
bust.
Cousins. I'm sorry, what?
He was just a bust.
Yeah. I think Cousins has been about as close to what we could have expected. Colin White he just got drafted too high. You know what I mean? He puts the effort in, but he's just not. It's just not worked out for him. So, all right, bud. Any last words before I let you go?
Let's go Marlins.
For those of you that don't know, Rosado has been. I'll use the polite word, bugging me to do some baseball stuff. We are going to stream opening day, and then I have an idea for how I can. I know this is a stretch. Don't don't laugh too hard, but I have an idea how I can make baseball interesting. Just stay tuned. All right, just stay. Don't worry, I'm not going to suddenly flip and be streaming all the Marlins games because I will be fishing. But I've got a plan of how I can fish and still cover some Marlin stuff at the same time. So stay tuned for that. All right, Rosado, really really appreciate it, bud. All the hard work you do on the streams for us, and if you get bored, watch one of the last stream we did, one of the football streams. Rosado's mom came on the stream, and then Rosado banned her, and then he banned her again. So then I banned him, and then Rosado's mom took his phone, and he couldn't go back on the stream for a while. It was the highlight. That was the first game, right? Yeah, it was like in between the first and the second game. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it kind of made up for Brock Purdy not being around.
She
All
was
right,
pissed.
guys. Yeah. All right, Rosado. Appreciate it, bud. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks, bud. All right. Let's see. We're good here. I'm gonna go ahead and True. It looks like you're ready to go. Give me the thumbs up. True, you hearing me? Oh, he's telling me. All right. I'll flip back. Let's go ahead and go to Mike. You got the thumbs up for me? All right, here we go. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh man, today's not bad. We actually had a tickle of snow last night. It was like by a tickle, I mean it was melted by 9 o'clock in the morning. We've had no snow this year, man.
No.
It's just been a crazy year.
Wow.
All right. So how you doing? What you got for me today?
Um, I was listening to your other response that you had there with in regards to what we could do to make the playoffs essentially.
Right.
I really think we have to put Forsling and Montour together, and they
Mm,
just have to stay together. Like it's obvious that that works. It's
right.
obvious from point production. It's obvious from the plus minus. Like I don't know as a coach how he doesn't see this, but I think that's an easy one for me.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I think the issue comes in if I'm Maurice, which I'm not. But if I was, I think my issue would be then where do you put Ekblad? Like who's the guy that can help him be and we don't even know what he's going to be, right? Because at this
I
point we
don't
don't
know.
know if he's injured or if this is just the new version. Um that was something Stu and I talked about really early on in the season. It was like, well, okay, Montour and Forsling 100%, but then you got to look at Ekblad and Stahl. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a scary set too.
Right.
It's like, if the only idea I could come up with is that if you just got to take minutes from him.
Yeah.
He can't be running 25 minutes. He can't do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's not something that we've talked about at all in terms of the number of minutes he's getting. Because I know, when he was paired with Uyghur, those two guys
Oh
were
yeah.
eating up a ton of minutes. What do you think? Your opinion? You think Ekblad's hurt or or declining that much?
I think it's honestly just injury. I mean, as you can see from just his years with Uyghur and with everything else going on when he wasn't hurt, he's Norris candidate.
Yeah.
So I mean, now he's had severe injuries to lower body twice. That's
Right.
kept him on IR. He's a consistent he's like a regular LTIR person. So I mean,
Right.
it's got to be injuries just catching up.
Yeah, yeah. I hate to think about that because, I mean, the kid's still only 26. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If he was 29, 30, you'd start to think, well, he's getting to be that age. But this legit should be the best years. He's had some bad luck with the injuries. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He's
Well,
just
look at
not been able.
you know, look at Kachuk. Kachuk is what 24. He's having his
Yeah,
best years possible. This is where Ekblad is supposed to be, like you said, and it's
right.
not. It ain't even close.
Right. Yeah, and it makes it tough because I mean, look, we bitch about Ek. When I say we, I'm talking about Stu and I. We bitch about Ekblad, yes, but we love the kid. You know what I mean? I mean, if you check this channel when there's a video I made when he was coming back too early from the concussion, and I made a video like a couple of hours. Before the game, like anybody's going to listen to me when I'm like begging them, please, somebody get this video to Ekblad for him to watch it so that he won't play tonight. And sure enough, he went and played and got banged around again.
Hmm.
Um, and that's the other thing is, that kind of stuff has the long term effect to where, we kind of criticize him saying he looks like Yandel, but in some senses, he's looking like Yandel because you can tell he's definitely avoiding contact.
Yeah, he's afraid to go into the walls
Right.
completely.
Right.
And I don't blame him. I mean,
Yeah.
with Dallas, I mean, look what that looked like. That was horrific to see. So
Yeah.
I guess he's really just problem is you can't play top line minutes
Right.
and not go into the boards. I mean, that's where I don't agree with Maurice on a lot of things, but I agree with him that majority of the game is 3 feet of the wall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's got to be able to do it, and if he can't, we have to put someone there who can.
Yeah, yeah, and Forsling has just been to the flip side of that. I mean, dude was couldn't put pressure on his leg, and then he comes back for the second period. You know what
Of
I mean?
course. Yeah.
He's just a beast. Um,
Yeah.
what other keys do you have other than defensively? Who do you think needs to step up for us to have a chance?
I mean, honestly, I think I hate to say it because I don't know what the result would be, but I really do think We need Duclair back on that top line.
Right,
Like
right, right.
we need his breakout speed. We need his transition game. We need it because Barkov and Verhage excelled when we had it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, we really need him to come back healthy and be ready to go. And maybe that's why it's taken so long, is because they know what's expected. But it's just that really we need him back. He's our third, like you guys said a bunch. He's our 30 goal scorer that we don't have.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we're losing games, 1 goal, 2 goals here and there. You know, maybe he gets it. You never know.
Right. Yeah, and the other parts of that is it's kind of, we've had to move Lundell up to the top there.
Yeah.
It's worked. It's worked, but that's not that's not what we've optimally, would like to
Yeah.
have. So
Lundell excels in the third line. Third
Yeah,
line, second
yeah.
line. He really stands out.
yeah, yeah. And look, I mean, he's what, 21 at this point?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
great for him.
we've got so much. He needs to fill out a little bit like Huberto did. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Start low, go
So,
high.
Yeah, yeah. And any
Mhm.
last words for me, bud?
We just need 10 in a row.
That's what we need. Yeah, I'm going to
That's
have
what we
something
need.
out on Friday. To your point, if I broke it down a little bit on the podcast, but I'm going to have a little bit more of an in-depth thing in terms of the teams, all of the teams in the playoff race in the Eastern Conference and their schedule and everything. Because there's some areas that get you concerned, but like when you look at Buffalo's schedule, it's like, damn, they've got a rocking hard schedule. So. And then, of course, we still have, I think it's 3 more road back-to-back games. It's just been crazy. It's really been nuts.
I don't know who did the schedule. I have no idea, but they really. I don't usually complain about the schedule. I really don't. But it's just that consistent back-to-backs, 1 game home, 10 games out. Like, I mean, this is. I don't know. How are they supposed to get any type of mojo going when they can't even stay home?
It must be the same script writers that Arian Foster was talking about earlier today.
It probably
that's
is.
the schedule. All right, Mike. We appreciate you joining us, man. Much appreciation that way. Big supporter of the channel. Really appreciate that. Even though I know I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, but I am still human. I haven't turned into the machine that the hockey guy and Tom Grossi have yet. I don't know how they do it, man. I don't know how they do it, but eventually I'm getting there. So, all right, Mike, appreciate all the support, bud. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks. Take care.
All right. Thanks, bud. All right. Okay, let's Paul, you ready? Got thumbs up for me? All right. Here comes Mr. Paul Z-Man. Hey, bud. Hey, look at that. Ball with the beard. That's a good look. I should go for that. Oh, you just got the goatee. I can't see the side. I've lost you. Can you hear me? Because I'm not hearing you. Yeah, I don't hear you.
Let me take my mic off. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Now I hear.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
That helps.
So what's up, family? How you doing?
Guys, this is Paul. Paul is responsible for like 50% of the channel. Let me remove. I've got to change.
My wife is watching.
Oh, is that right? Let me get to the echo because I have the echo cancellation on. Am I the only one who's hearing the echo? Because if I am, it's okay. I'm hearing myself echo. I guess if nobody else is hearing it, then we must be okay. TK wants to know what Bally's doing the sound. All right, so what you got for me, Paul? I'll just shut up and that'll solve the problem.
It's all good, man. Just happy to be a part of the channel. You guys do good work. You and Stu are quite the team, and the Panthers need as much love as we can give them. We fell from grace from last year, but it was kind of expected. Change is hard, and we got to just kind of just go with the flow. I'm not expecting too much this year. If we make the playoffs, great. If we don't, just retool for next year and keep going, man. That's all we can do. It'd be nice to make the playoffs so we don't, it's not an embarrassment, winning the President's Trophy and then not making it, even to the playoffs the next year. But I kind of look at the leaders of the team, the so-called core, Ekblad, Barkov, Ekblad, I think, unfortunately, man, coming into the league at 18 years old, he's past his prime already, man.
Yeah.
So, and Barkov, he needs to play with a little bit more heart, bring it every day. And, that's what a captain should be. And I think he plays better without the C on his chest, less pressure, less media, that way he can just do his thing and, get his highlights on the NHL network.
Bennett or Kachuk for captain?
Man, honestly, I would like to see Lomberg as captain.
Ooh, wow. We better extend him first.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, I can't play this with heart, man. If we could have more Lombergs, we'd be a really good team,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I see more, qualities of a captain in Kachuk. He's a little more outspoken. He seems to me like somebody that would get in on, his teammate's face and say, "Hey, man, pick it up. We need you." Barker's not going to do it. So, and that's it. I mean, it is what it is this year. To everybody that was harping about Bruno, not getting extended. Look what happened, man. Imagine, hey, look, they're not making the President's Trophy winning team. They're not making the playoffs, and Bruno got arrested for DUI. I mean, come on, we don't need that kind of headlines.
That whole situation, just with what happened to Q, and obviously this is with Bruno. Somebody says he was on a golf cart. So
wow, man. Yep.
I mean, did the cops really arrest him and detain him? Because they said he was being held on $500 bond. So
wow, that is crazy.
Having a beer with a golf cart, it's like, wow, man.
I've never been arrested, but I don't want to go down that way the first time. Go to jail. What did you get? What are you in here for? I got arrested driving a golf cart drunk.
I know. That's rough. That's not the story you tell the grandkids.
He should have got arrested for having the worst power play ever in the playoffs, man. That's what he should have got arrested for. 2 for how many? 89 something.
Oh man, I put out a short, one of the little short videos. I wish I would have heard that line before I put it out, because that's a good line.
No doubt, man. Well, I'm happy to support you guys. I'm a small business owner. I know what it takes to succeed. It takes time and it takes loyal, customers or supporters, and that's what I am. I'm a brother to you guys always.
Absolutely.
Stu's gonna get his Cubans. Stu, you're gonna get your Cubans. Don't worry.
Oh, Paul, I really appreciate it. Genuinely, you know that. So any last words for me?
Let's go Panthers. Win or lose, I mean, we're still going to support the team. Hopefully we can make good moves next year. And I mean, think about it like this. We got 3 guys that are taking up a huge chunk of our salary. We're not going to get rid of Barkov unless somebody makes us offer we can't refuse, like a McDavid, something like that. That's never going to happen. But if we got, rid of Bob's and Aaron Ekblad's contracts, that would give us even more money to play with, and nothing against Bobrovsky, man, but he's in his 30s. He's not going to get any better, And Ekblad, I mean, unfortunately, man, he should probably think about, his future and not getting injured again, man.
Yeah. So, I agree, man.
All
right, Paul.
That is what it is, man.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Really, really appreciate all the support, brother. All right.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, bye. All right. Let me take a sip of drink here. So we got a few more lined up. All right. Okay. True, you ready? That's the thumbs up. All right, here we go. I got True, and then right now the order after True is going to be Liam and then Ghost. That's what I got right now. All right, so here we go. The True Man.
What's
up? How you doing, brother? How's your back?
About time. Let's just say I feel like Ekblad right now.
Oh man,
I'm beat the F up.
You beat that, yeah. We got to get that fixed, man.
Yeah, and last night at the gym, I'm trying to hurry up and get everything done, and I dropped a 45-pound plate on the back of my right heel.
Oh.
So that's why I say I feel like Ekblad. I'm beat up. So anyway, let's not spend too much time on that.
All right, so True's another big, huge supporter, fan of the channel. Comes to just about every stream out there, and totally,
I've
totally
been
respect his opinion.
I've been a Panthers fan since before they were a Panther,
There you go.
and that's the
Yeah.
truth.
No, I believe it.
I was
believe
there
it.
in Wayne Heisinger's office when I brought my entire Pee Wee League to beg for hockey in South Florida. So
Wow, wow.
yeah, it was that's a whole nother podcast we'll have to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. We'll have to jump on that for sure, man. Yeah,
But
definitely. So, what do you got for me in terms of this year? Two parts.
uh,
How far away from what we expected are we, and where are we
we
going?
need a Michael Rizzioni moment. We need a miracle. To be dead honest, I mean, I've played the game long enough, and I know when you're at that part of the season,
Yeah,
every second counts. We spend too much time in the box. People blame it on Maurice, but he's got so much time under his belt. It's really hard to blame anything on him, and I don't agree with
right.
a lot of the things he does, but he's made magic happen a couple times out there this season, and I think that has to do with having some cojones and being around a game for a long time, with the goalie pulling 10 minutes left, and everybody
Right.
flipping out. And I always say, what do we got to lose?
Right.
Nothing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm personally not the huge fan of pulling a goalie, even though I know the argument is I'm in the wrong side of the argument. It's just my thing.
Yeah.
The thing with Maurice, I think the thing that's gotten, at least to me and many of us, is the juxtaposition between what he said in the press conference about not really wanting to change a whole lot, and
Mhm.
and now the product on the ice. So I think a lot of the complaint has kind of been we didn't think it was going to change as much as
Mhm.
it has. And I mean the other night against Boston, that's the first comeback of the year, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
what moves do you think that he still has in his back pocket if we stay healthy? That can maybe what buttons can he press to get us to where we need like a 9-10 game win streak? But we have to
They
have it.
have to do a lot of off ice work because that's just as important. They got to watch the video of when they played Boston, both games, because
Right.
that team is the team that will get us into the playoffs. I'm not going to say, Lord S's name, but it'll get us into the playoffs. That team that played the Bruins, and if they can watch the tape and say this works and this doesn't work, and just execute. It's
Right.
simple. It's just we just haven't been consistent. And injuries plague us. Love to get Duclair back as soon as possible, and I think Lyon. I think that should be our starting goalie, to
Oh
be honest.
wow.
And I've always said Bennett should be our captain.
Right.
I know he screwed up the other night with trying to, push that puck in the corner. And
Yeah.
I've been in situations like that when I used to play where you're just in the heat of the moment and you're trying to play good. And, all of a sudden you're just nerves, just jump and you do something and then you're just like, oh, no.
Right.
And
Yeah.
everybody made up for it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. He totally got it back for us. Um.
Another
So
thing, I
oh,
don't
go
want
ahead.
to,
Yeah. No,
while
go
we're
ahead.
on the topic of Maurice, um, as I said before, with the off ice work, they need to do a lot of designed plays, and study these design plays. Just like Tom Brady goes on the field and says he wants to do play 1A, boom, they're doing it, touchdown.
Right.
And I'm not even a huge football fan. I'm just using that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you look at these winning teams, they all do that. That's what they do when they're on a power play, when they're coming from behind their net. They all know where they're going to go, where they're going to pass, and those are set plays. We haven't been doing that all season. Maybe I've saw it once or twice, but
Right.
we've pretty much been playing almost like a beer league. Just go out there and give it all you got kind of hockey.
Right.
That's not going to push us very far in this league. You know, these are the best players in the world, and they're not just out there skating in circles. So we need to do the off-ice work, make the plays, learn the plays, and execute the plays when we're on the ice. And that's going to do a heck of a lot of difference. Go ahead.
That's a really interesting point that you make, because I don't think certainly I haven't touched on that. I haven't heard anybody really touch on it that way. It does kind of marry into what I've said, even, in the good times. It's like, even when we're winning, like somebody say, well, how do we look? It's like, well, we're winning,
exactly.
but there's nothing that you point at and go, that'll get us 10 games. That we
know what
if
that's
we
called?
do that.
You know what that's called?
What's that?
That's called puck luck.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of it this season.
Right.
We haven't been out there doing plays and looking amazing and putting the puck in the net. We've just been at the right place at the right time, or just started firing the puck, and it's eventually going to go in a few times. But when you have design plays, it's bang, bang, boom, done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to work 10 out of 10 times, but I guarantee you it's going to work 7 out of 10 times.
Right.
Depending on who the player is.
That's a really good point, because we did see a lot of that last year. So I want to jump to the other thing that you said, because that's a hot take. The Lion. I mean, give me your thoughts. I mean, obviously he's not likely to be our guy, but you're a guy that's been around the game, so you're not just going to jump off the cliff with a crazy take either. So talk me through that one.
Well, I'm in my mid-40s. We'll just say that, and I'd like to think I'm an old-time hockey kind of guy, and the game has just changed so much. It's almost unnoticeable in a way.
Yeah,
just so much has changed, and I try to tell these younger guys, that the game has changed so much in so many ways. But what I've seen in the last 10 years is, it's like, let's get the biggest goalie we can and put him in this little 6x4 box.
right.
And it doesn't matter how much agility he has, as long as he can skate and kind of stick handle, there's nowhere for the other teams to put the puck.
Right.
And then you totally lose the whole old school top physical shape goalie, that's 5'6", 5'7", under 6 foot at least, something like mine, where he can get out there and flip flop around, kind of Dominic Hasek in a way, and he's been playing Dominic Hasek kind of, I mean, I haven't seen any goalies, at least that we've had, flip flopping around. Luongo kind of used to do it, and he was kind of a bigger guy, which is surprising. And then Beezer, we had Beezer, but in the last few years, I don't know that we've had any goalies that are, standing on their head. If anybody knows that old term.
Yeah.
I know you do, Eric.
Yeah. I got that one from Neil Rogers.
Yeah. Oh man, we only had him around.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he'd be having a blast with this.
He might have the answers for us.
Yeah. Well, he could tell you what was wrong. That's for sure. I don't think I'm not so sure he'd have been a huge Maurice fan. Kind of think of, but yeah, it's interesting, because that's kind of, Knight's obviously a bigger guy, and Bob is not huge, but he's kind of like a mixture with the size and moving around.
Right, like kind of right in between there a little bit.
Yeah, and Lion does give the other teams a different look for sure. The thing that I noticed, in my opinion anyway, in the short period of time watching him, is I think his rebound control to me is probably his biggest issue.
Well, what I noticed is he's really good at clearing the puck from in front of him and in front of the crease. Like, he immediately pushes it away with his stick. He's really quick with his stick, and that's really big.
Yeah.
And he comes out and is looking for a pass when we're on the power play. Bob and Knight will do it every once in a while, but Bob, he just doesn't want to come out of that crease to, you put 4 more seconds back on the power play from that defenseman having to come all the way back behind the net again by having the goalie come out and be that sixth man kind of in a way,
Right.
that really helps out,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
got a couple other things here.
Sure. Go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
Just some things like, we could use when we're in the O zone, the offensive zone is whether it's Chucky or anybody, any one of the wings, we gotta just screen the goalie. And when I'm saying screen the goalie, I don't mean stand on the side of the net. I mean to where the goalie can't see anything but what your last name is.
Right.
Or what kind of CCM pants you have on or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's supposed to be a battle zone in there, and that's because that's where the games are won.
Right.
And just the flip flop of that, we need to keep our own crease completely empty because that's how a lot of our goals have been scored against us this year. Is by a man standing wide open in the crease, whether it's Crosby, McDavid, or just some Joe Schmo from the AHL.
Right. Yeah, no, we 100% agree there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything else written down?
No, I mean, I just jotted down a couple things. I could go on all night, I mean, my main thing is that, you have such a finely tuned machine that we had last season.
Right.
Like you said about Maurice, and I don't agree with that. And I'm not this huge Maurice fan, but when someone has over 20 years in the NHL, you can't really say that much stuff about him. I could sit here and talk bad about Maurice. I could, and I would love a new coach, but his paperwork shows. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Well, it's you're always going to want. It's natural for fans and us to look, for a scapegoat, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right. But what I was saying was that, like you were saying before, like, you got to fine tune the machine. And then you came in and as soon as they did the Tkachuk trade, I was so happy to get Matthew Tkachuk here. But I knew that was just going to stir everything up to way too much to be a contender this season,
Yeah.
But I think that we made a really good base to build on now. And, I'm not going to lose hope in us this year.
Yep.
I'm going to be a Florida Panther fan, through and through.
That's it. We're used to it. So
yeah, we're used to it, exactly.
Yep. All right, bud.
Thank you very much, Eric. I'll be in touch. Love being part of the channel. Feel like we're brothers here.
Yeah,
so.
You saying some simpatico, brother. So appreciate you coming out.
Yep.
And if nothing else, we'll see you. We'll be around. We're streaming Friday and Saturday for the skills and the All-Star and all that.
We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch.
All right, True.
Go
Take
Panthers.
care, bud.
Yeah, you too, brother.
All right. One thing here real quick, Mr. Vids, I saw your comment. So I'm going to go to Twitter if you guys just bear with me. And let me tell Jeff because he's asking. And then Mr. Vids, I think if I'm pasting, if I haven't taken anything else out. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get you the link. Just bear with me here 20 seconds, everybody. And where are we? Where'd we go? Where did Mr. Vids go? Here we go. Okay. Okay, we're back. Okay, all right. Liam, thumbs up. You ready? Good to go? All right. Was that a shaking of the head or the thumbs up? Okay. All right. Let me close up a couple of things here so that maybe. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. All right, Liam.
If you can't tell by the flag, I'm sure you know who I am. Yes, I'm William from
Hi.
the videos.
Fantastic, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you.
You too. First off, thanks for doing this. So as you know, I live in Gainesville, which is Gator country, but at the same time, it is Bolts country. So it's hard to be a Panther fan here, but at the same time, unfortunately, you guys may hate me for this, but at the same time, I want to see the Bolts do well, obviously, as a Florida, because I live in Florida.
Right. Yeah, and it makes it easier on you if you live in an area where people are a fan of that team.
Yeah.
Just keep a low profile, just keep a low
Yeah.
profile. And then when somebody says go Bolts in the grocery store, it just depends.
Yeah.
You judge it. It's like, do I want to start something here, or I want to, just give them the thumbs up and check out and go. So
I've been a Panther fan my whole life. So this is last season was a shock for me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to do it. We're going to win the cup. This is our year." And then this year it's like I have a buddy that lives here. I have a bunch of friends that are from South Florida, and it's like we always talk, and it's like, "Ugh, they're back. They're back." Ugh.
Yeah.
Last year was just the year that I had never seen him in my life, and I actually get all my Panther information from your streams, from your information.
Man. Wow.
I try to catch the games, but my issue is I'm a student, so
yeah.
So I try to catch the games also on YouTube or through you or etc. So basically, I'm gonna piggyback off what everybody's saying about how it's been going the season. Obviously, I wish it would be a lot better. I wish it was how you predicted it to be.
Yeah.
Basically, we don't have so we're doing the opposite of what President's Trophy winners do, which is fall, regress to the mean, hit rock bottom.
Yep.
So when I heard about Maurice, I was like, oh, I was not happy about the hire. I was not happy because I have TSN. I watch all the TSN videos, so I see all the bar down stuff. So I know about the Maurice stories and etc. So so I would say that honestly, one of the things we need to do is we need to sell at the deadline. If coming up, we need to sell because as I stated, there is a possibility that the Panthers have been in talks for Erik Karlsson. There's been talks about that. So that's what I'm saying. If Ekblad cannot be up to his standard, if he's always constantly getting banged up, why don't we just ship him off already and get a better defender? Look how that helped us last year with Shira and etc.
Right. It's an interesting. I know I've heard the Carlson thing. I read that article. I don't know. I mean, the issue with getting somebody like Carlson in is I mean, there's no way we could take his whole salary. So it's a matter of how much, would now, I saw somebody ask about, just what about Ekblad for Carlson and they eat some salary. I mean, it sounds like a decent deal for us, except that when you look at how much longer Carlson signed for, that I wouldn't surprise me to see him get moved at some point, but I don't think we're going to be in on him because when you look at what this team has to do in terms of extensions and contracts coming up down the road, like I said, we have a bunch of extensions we need to start working on this season. And then for the 24-25 season, we have 5 skaters under contract. We have 5 guys. So that's just an enormous number of players that we have to figure out yes, no, how much. Yes, no, how much. And then as you start to figure out the no's, then you have to start to figure out, are we willing to lose them for nothing, or do we want to try to trade them, right? And so it's back to your point. I mean, last year, the more that this has gone on this year, and the more we looked at where we are cap wise and everything, last year was that was the shot. That was the year. Now it doesn't mean that we can't put something together, right? It doesn't mean that you can't catch lightning in a bottle, so to speak, and the team catches hot and does something. But in terms of expecting to be a top 3 team in this division, I mean, we're not passing Tampa or Toronto anytime soon. And until Boston decides that they're too old, until Boston decides to act their age, we're not going to crack that either.
We're not. The thing
Right.
is, like you guys were saying a couple minutes ago, we can beat the teams that are better than us, or we can get points in overtime. But for some reason, we can't beat Buffalo. We can't beat Dallas. We can't beat the teams that are worse than us. But we can
Right.
somehow pull something out of our butts and beat Tampa, or beat Boston, or beat
Right,
Vegas, or beat any of those teams, or even pull out a point. And what do you think is going to be the means that we make it to the playoffs? Just force overtime here at this point, or?
Well, I think, this time of year, a lot of games do end up going to overtime because, everybody is just so bunched together and everything like that, all those points just become super important. I laid it out was it in the video I did yesterday? It was in the podcast that for the members and YouTube supporters, or the Patreon supporters. There's a segment of games where I believe it's either in late February or March. I think it's like something like 10 out of 11 at home, or whatever it is. We don't leave the state of Florida for a long period of time. The only road game is at Tampa. That's our shot. And some of the games are winnable. There's some tough games, but there's also, I think, the Blackhawks on there. I think the Jackets are on there. So we've got this massive homestand coming up. If you can get on a roll, start getting to 4 and 5 and 6, and then I know it sounds like a lot, but you really got to get to, at a bare minimum, 7, and you have to follow it up. If you only win 7, you got to lose the 1 and then win another 4 or 5. You have to put together one run like that, and I think that would get us into a spot. It's not going to make it a secure spot. You know what I mean? Even if we do win 10, 12 in a row, at the end of that, we're going to look at it and be like, we did all that, and we're 2 points ahead, right? Maybe in the 7th or 8th spot, and it's still going to be, crazy going to the end, because there's just too many teams. It's not just like one team. You know what I mean? There's just too many teams. The Islanders just got better, right? And that was a team that had kind of fallen behind us for a half a second. And the other part to that is a lot of these teams have games in hand. So, we've played more hockey, so we're going to have fewer games. So we get a little bit more rest, you would think. But then we still do have 3 road back-to-backs. It's going to be tough. We've put ourselves into a position, and like we keep seeing, these teams they're playing each other. I believe it was either Buffalo and the Island. No, I think it's the Capitals and the Islanders. I believe that's it. Play each other 3 more times, right? So every night something bad is going to happen for us there, because we're basically chasing both teams. And if it goes to overtime, now we've lost, on 2 teams. So the way I looked at it, the only way that we make the playoffs is you get on minimum 7, better off maybe 9, 10 game winning streak. If some of those come in overtime, that's fine. But you've got to get both goalies playing the way they were when they were playing outstanding. Get them healthy, keep it healthy, and that's it. We're out of time now. The good news is we don't have a whole lot of time left. So if we can pull it off in that short period of time, we will be getting hot right at the right time of the year and carry that through. So, real quick before we continue on, Paul, I just landed on 99.99 super chat, man. Dude, the hat is right off to you, Paul. Brother, man, seriously. Holy crap. I didn't want to interrupt in the middle because I was trying to answer your question, but thank you, Paul. Genuinely, brother. Seriously, man. You guys make this channel go. So, Liam, what do you think? What else you got? What do you think? And if you had to throw a guess out there, like what player, what does your gut tell you? What guess you got? What player that at the end we're pointing and we're saying he got hot and got us in?
So right now, obviously, it's Lee. So honestly, I know I said it in the chat. I was a diehard Huberto fan, and it took me the longest time to open up to Kachuk because I didn't like Kachuk because in the promos, just whenever I saw the promos, it was always a smirk. His smirk just was like, oh, look at me, I'm the tough guy. Look at me, like it just looked all scumbaggy. But then I realized what a great player he was, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's a good player. So I'm starting to like him.
Right.
So I think personally, we've seen it with Kachuk, but I think it will be Verhaeghe and Barkov. I think they're gonna come and they're gonna set it up because Verhaeghe last year he set us up in the crucial moments. Right. Think about it. Overtime in Game 6, Verhaeghe was the game winner. 5 seconds left to put us up 3-1, Verhaeghe. Game 4, Verhaeghe. In the playoffs, it was all the Verhaeghe show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, man. I agree with you. Now the Barkov thing's a little bit of a surprise, but that would be. I don't want this to sound like I'm ragging on him, but that would be a first. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, but if he did light it up and put the team on his back here in these last 30 games and get us in, that would be the first time he'd really done that. Mm-hmm. So I like that. I like that idea. Last question I got for you. Goaltending. What do you want? You want an even split? You want to get Bob hot and just ride him into the ground, or what do you think?
So I'm on the same side as everybody. I think Bob got paid way too much, and I've said it since day one. I think when you look at it, look at all these other athletes. How old is Brady, for instance?
Yeah, he's almost as old as I am, which is old.
Brady just announced his retirement today. How old was Jeter when he announced his retirement? Jeter was in his late 30s. How old is Bob?
34, I believe now. Yeah.
So I'm saying we try to buy Bob out and play. I'm saying even though we'll shoot ourselves in the foot in a way with Cap. We'll take a Cap hit. I think personally, with the way Lyon's been playing and with Knight getting reps in Charlotte, I do believe that the future is Knight and Lyon, personally.
Very interesting. That's interesting. I've been thinking Knight and Guzda, but one never knows. You never know. A lot of people like Lyon. I can see why. I would need to see more. You know what I mean? Because I believe I was talking about with True. I believe it was. And if it wasn't, I apologize. But his rebound control is a little bit sketchy for me. And at 30 years old, it leaves me with the wondering of like, okay, what's the catch here? Has he just not been coached properly? Has he just not gotten a completely full opportunity? I'm sure as hell glad he's our third goalie right now, because if this team does somehow make it to the playoffs, if something happens to Bubba or Spencer, I feel confident. Certainly, Lyon has shown that he can go out there and he's a gamer. Mm-hmm. And you never know. We just beat Boston with him, so why not?
Reminds me of a Drieger type of goalie.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yep. So, all right, William, really, really appreciate it, bud. All right. Glad you came out. Love the flag.
Thank
Right.
you.
Appreciate
I'll be on the
all
live.
support.
Don't worry. I'll be on
Yep.
the next live. I'll be there.
Well, okay, bud. We'll see you this weekend. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, I heard that one. Thanks, William. All right. Let me take a sip. And I saw, yeah, Dustin. I think that was Dustin. Is that correct? I want to make sure I give proper thanks here. Yeah, Dustin, buddy. I appreciate that, bud. Thank you, sir. Very, very much. Genuinely. You guys, I'm going to do a video next week about how the channel is doing and everything like that. You guys wouldn't believe the level of support. And although I want to mention this because we're going to bring on Ghost is going to be, well, it looks like the last guest, unless somebody else shows up. So I'll tell you guys what I found out. As I said this at the beginning of the stream, I just found out from Manscaped today that thanks to all of you, you've blown them away with the level of support that you've shown for me. And they've, with a week left to go, it was supposed to be just a 30-day thing. And then they were going to let me know. Fluffy's over here dreaming and he's barking in his sleep. Long story short, Manscaped has decided to continue to stay on as a paid sponsor. So they're going to actually pay me $75 a month and sell me more product that I can, sell or give away. So that's all thanks to you. Y'all did that. So I'm stoked. And so now Stu and I get to talk about our balls a few more times. So sorry about that, though. And now Ghost has to try to follow that. I've got him. I'm bringing you up right now.
What a transition. Okay.
All right, follow that.
I don't know.
So,
but congratulations, man.
yeah,
That's insane.
Thanks.
That's really
yeah,
is.
man. Mr. Vince is saying the same thing. I love those shades, man.
I put them on just for the occasion, man.
That works, man.
I also did put the jersey up here.
Yep. No, it looks good. Looks good.
And for Rosado's sake, I'm sitting in the middle so it blocks the Chiefs poster.
All right. So, what you got for me tonight, Mr. Ghost?
I think it's mainly just like thinking about like prospects and how just really the future of the Panthers is looking, man. Cause like so you got, let's look at the Panthers cap friendly real quick. So we got players like so you got Guzda, who's on an entry level. He may be a good goalie. You also got Nathan Steos, Santu. You also got Sholin. Evan Noss is also on an entry level. Justin Sardiff, he's also on an entry level. Hutsko, Noel, even Denisenko is on a entry level. So just the possibility of the Panthers being a top 10 team, like a top 10 team in the future, just with these prospects is, I'm going to be honest, it's not looking too good. Justin Sardiff is a promising prospect, but a lot of those other guys, we haven't really seen them perform, except Denisenko. Denisenko's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. He's fine. That's the good word for him. Right. Yes. Now you're doing that next level of research that I started to do. And that's when I started to realize, oh, we got, when Zito said we have challenges, when he talked about the challenges in that Maurice press conference, he wasn't just talking about Yandel's cap hit. You know what I mean?
The buyout penalty.
Right. We've got some issues. So in Ghost's world, who's in, who's out?
who's in and who's out in terms of like
In terms of like the roster we have, like I said, in 2 years we have 5 guys signed. That's it. So clearly we're not going to sign what's that? 18 minus. We're not going to sign 13 guys to the most money that they could garner on the free agent market, right? Some of these guys are going. So what do you think?
well, from what I remember, so we got 1 year left on Mark Stahl, Mahura, Fitzgerald has 1 year, Gudis, Tierney, the other both Stalls are on 1 year. Giovanni Smith, Colin White also on 1 year. Hornquist is also on a 1 year left. A lot of these guys are on 1 year left, but
Right.
and I'm even going to include some guys who only have 2 years left. I could see us keeping players like Smith and Lomberg because they bring that energy to the team that not many other players in the league could honestly bring.
Right.
Like, and they're usually on like the third or fourth line, so they probably won't be asking for a lot getting those type of minutes. So Tierney, I think, is out. I don't
Right.
think that he fits. He just
Yeah.
doesn't seem like he fits.
Right.
He coming over from Ottawa, who he fit great with. He was outstanding over there, but over here he just seems dull. And that's something that you'd hate to see, really.
Right.
Cousins, I think, is out.
Right.
He's costed too many games, honestly. He's costed so many games because of stupid penalties he decides to take in like the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And we end up losing like 4-2 because of an empty net goal on top of that.
Yeah, he's like the new Frank for Toronto with all the goals.
Yeah.
What about so let me ask you this year's defense, the guys that we right now in terms of under contract for next season defensively, we have Forsling, Montour, and Ekblad.
Mhm.
Am I correct there? Let's see.
Yep,
Stahl
those
is
are the
not,
three.
Maher is not. Yeah, that's it. That we got those 3 guys under contract. So my take, my thought here is that you extend Mahura and then you're fishing for at least 2 new guys, maybe 3, depending upon what your decision's going to be with Ekblad, or if they even think that they have a decision to make.
Honestly, I don't think you should count on Gudis there either.
Hmm.
Because love or hate him, he brings so much energy to the team. And after every win, he gives everyone the high five. He brings
Right.
so much energy to the team that it's insane. Like, you see us out there, we're playing dull, but once Gudis gets that big hit we've been waiting for all game, all of a sudden there's just a switch that we turn on and we're on fire.
Right.
But we haven't seen much of Fitzgerald. So
Right. No, we haven't seen him yet, right?
yeah, he hasn't played. He's been
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
bench, but
Yeah.
he hasn't played. And Stahl, I like the forward Stahl. I'm not so sure about the defenseman.
Right.
And they're also both 35 years old or more.
Right. Yeah,
I
the
believe,
thing of it
yes,
is, go ahead.
Eric is 38 and Mark is 36.
The thing with the stalls, as somebody's outside my house, not my house, but they're outside honking the horn at somebody. The thing with the stalls is that, yeah, they're of age, right? But not only do we have these older guys that are playing a somewhat important role on the team, but to circle back to your point, it's not like we had any young guys that were really fixing to beat them out either.
Yeah. And we don't have picks. We don't have any picks to get more young guys. So
Do you want to hear that
in a
bad?
tough spot.
Do you want to hear that statistic again? We have 4 cumulative picks in the next 3 rounds over the course of the next 3 years?
And that is a 2023 second round, a 2024 third round, and then a second and third for 2025. We
Right.
have no first round picks, and we probably will never get those back, even from other teams.
No, I mean, not
Unless
without.
we make some big blockbuster trade with Bobrovsky, there's no way.
Right. And everybody we could get ones for, with the exception of maybe Bennett and Reinhardt, has a no move clause anyway.
Yeah, Bobrovsky does too, but I don't. Honestly, I think Bobrovsky's getting as fed up with Maurice as we are.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's like another Torts thing. Like Bubba doesn't like he may seem like a good guy, but I've heard that Maurice is ruthless in practice. Absolutely ruthless to the goalies.
Really? That's interesting.
That's what I've heard, what he did in
Right.
Winnipeg, and
Right,
which is
right,
why
right.
Hellebuck just hated him.
Interesting. Had
Yeah.
not thought about that. I'd thought about it from the forwards and defenders position, but I had not thought about it from the goalie's position.
Yeah.
Huh.
He treats the forwards a little. I feel like he treats them a little too soft. He's not
Right.
giving them the discipline that they need, which is why Cousins taking so many penalties. He has no discipline.
That's the other thing. You just hit the magic word. The discipline, the stick penalties alone, right? I mean, this is just new out of the blue right now this year. This is something completely new. We haven't had this issue before. And it's everybody. I mean, even Lundell, right? It's guys that were not normally, being over aggressive that way. And look, some of that, Stu, by the way, I sent you the link via Twitter and over email. So I sent it twice. Some of that aggressiveness and the difficulty that we're having with it, we're trying to have guys like Anton Lundell. Okay, he has been developed to be one certain type of player, right? And all of a sudden now we're taking this kid who's this shined, polished circle, right? Who just needs to continue to be, buffed a little bit as a circle, and we're trying to do things like put him into this square peg. You know what I mean? Or an oval peg, maybe not so much a square peg, but some of this stuff may just be these guys aren't really used to playing the certain style that Maurice is asking them to play.
Yeah, especially playing with Coach Q and Bruno the previous year. Their play styles were very similar because Bruno picked up Q's play style and everything.
Right.
But Maurice is just a different type of coach. He's no Torts, I'll tell you that. He's not even close to Torts. We've seen plenty of videos about him like blowing up at the refs. Yeah, he blows up at the refs, but I've never seen him blow up at the players. In the time that I've watched like the practice releases for the Jets, when he was on the Jets and all that stuff. Even in the playoffs, after they got eliminated in round 1 to the Blues, there was no yelling from Maurice.
Right.
That locker room was just silent. There was nothing that Maurice could say.
Right.
And I do see Rosado said something about what Bob told Katie Engelson. Bob told Katie Engelson that he makes it fun to come to the rink every day.
Huh.
Interesting. I don't think that going to practice should be fun. Like, as my experience, going to practice is never fun, and it's never supposed to be. Going to practice is to get better. That's the big part of practice. Get better. You're not supposed to have fun. You're not supposed to be like all over the ice. You have to give yourself discipline. Not only the coach does, but you yourself. You have to discipline yourself. And I think Knight's doing that. He's disciplining himself. Maurice might not be disciplining him, but Knight's disciplining himself. And I don't think Bob is doing that self-discipline. He's not doing it at all. And that's a
Very
big part of a
interesting.
goaltender. You need self-discipline
Right.
because if you're not taking blame for some of the mistakes you make, you're not going to improve at all. Like
Very, very interesting.
I remember there was a couple of games where Bob let up like a stupid goal and
Right.
the ESPN commentators were like, "Oh, that was Bennett's fault," or "Oh, that was Gudis's fault." But no, it was actually Bob's fault.
Right. Well,
And
you know
I
me. You know me. I'll always say both things can be true, right? And a
yeah,
lot of times,
anything
look,
could be true.
especially with the Panthers. I mean, a lot of times it is. You know what I mean? It's the defense makes a mistake, and then Bob, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, or Knight coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know. So, TK says Maurice needs to get arrested for a DUI.
DUI? What do you mean on the bench? Because if he's I would love to have what he's drinking on the bench sometimes. Because
Oh
he's
man.
drinking something. I doubt he's on that bench sober half the time. All right.
Right.
He he
So,
he, he always plays that like he's not sober. So,
all
but
right, buddy. So, last thing here. Stu's ready. Stu's chomping at the bit. So I got the hypothetical magical question for you. Um, how do we trade Ekblad and Bob?
oh, that's a good question. Bob is it should be easier to trade Bob than Ekblad, honestly.
Mhm.
If you send Bob to like at least the middle of the field team, like somebody who's just in or just out of the playoffs, like the Sabres, the Penguins, the Rangers, even who are in third in the Metro. Send him to one of those teams. Get maybe a goaltender return, maybe a defenseman who has a low contract. Because in the end, for both of those guys, we're gonna have to retain some salary, sadly.
Right.
Um, just guys that don't take a big cap hit to us. They have like maybe 2 years left on their contract. Go for those guys, man.
I
Because
mean,
those 2 year
yeah,
guys can do a lot. But
yeah.
Ekblad, he's picky. And I know he's going to want to go to one of those top teams. So
Right.
just ship him to Calgary with Huberdeau and Uyghur. He'll be fine.
Look. Bob and Ekblad for Shesterkin straight up. I'm in.
I'm in. Maybe get I guess maybe get Hedel because Hedel's a great player.
Yeah. It'll
But
never happen. But I'm in.
if we do get a goaltender, Vemelka, 100%. I love Kirill Vemelka. He's a great goaltender over there in Arizona. And Bob and Ekblad for Vassal.
for
Rosado, you're
Vassal.
pushing it. You're pushing it. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Vemelka
seriously,
could be a good
they got to
pickup,
give
man.
us point as well. That's not enough. So
But if we're going to get anybody, I think ship Bob and Ekblad both in a collective deal because there's no way any team out there is going to only take one of them. No
Yeah.
team.
So
Hell, give
let's
them
see,
the
that's
Boston.
17 and a half.
Give us Swayman.
That's 17.5 million. We'd have to eat half of it, so we'd be eating like 8.75 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck to us. Good luck to us.
Yeah, but
I said it was
Boston,
imaginary
man.
land. In my defense, they said it was imaginary.
Give it to Boston. Give us Swayman. He's on that 1 year left. Unless
man,
they don't want Olmark.
Yeah, Raven. We'd never hear from Raven again. That's for sure. All right, Ghost. I really appreciate it, bud. Thanks for coming out tonight,
man.
buddy. We really appreciate it. All right. Have a good. I'll see you this weekend.
All right. Peace.
Yeah, peace. All right. So we're about to bring on our last guest of the evening. Now, look, I apologize in advance for this guy. He's an old crabby man sitting there smoking his cigar. And well, I'm going to do the best I can with this one. I don't know if he's as knowledgeable as the rest of our guests, but we'll do the best we can. And I can't. Oh, Stu, you have to unmute yourself. Okay, because it wouldn't let me do it. Speak. I think. Nope.
How's that?
There we go. There we go. All right. There we go. Rosado's already starting in on you.
Where is that fucker?
Yep, there. That's it. There went the monetization. That's okay. I'm playing. We're allowed 3 of those. We're allowed 3 of those before they start getting pissy with me. All right. So what do you think? Do you like my deal, Ekblad and Bob for Shesterkin straight up?
Wait a second. I gotta just give props to everybody that came on today.
Yeah.
It's really cool to match, the faces to the names.
Yeah.
So first, I want to give a shout out to Paul. Thanks, man, for supporting the channel.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, we got some people on today, but we have a lot of subscribers. If everybody gave a little bit, whatever they could afford, as a way of saying thank you, Eric, for bringing us fans some great content. You put out videos every day and then some multiples. So, Paul, Nick, Mr. True, I apologize. This is where the old man brain farts. I forgot your last guest, but there's always somebody that's got to wear sunglasses and look like Mr. Hollywood. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. The other thing I want to say is congrats with Manscaped. As I said in the chat, I think it was my little shtick about the bathroom scene in She's Out of Our League.
Yep.
So now we got our first sponsor. Hopefully there'll be more to come. Yeah. And let's get to 10,000, boys and girls.
Yeah, that's the next step. Yeah.
Next, I want to say we booked Randy for Friday. He's very busy this week with the All-Star game, but he loves us and loves you guys, and hopefully we'll have him on Friday and get his insights. All right, so fire away. I forgot what you just asked me. Oh, Paul, I'm looking forward to the cigars, and obviously I'll be lighting one up and enjoying.
Yeah.
So okay. Go ahead, Eric.
All right. So my question was, are you good with my deal for Bob and Ekblad for Shesterkin straight up?
That's never going to happen.
You sure?
Again,
I
said
know
it 1,000 times. Those guys are not waiving their no trade.
So you think there's no circumstances? I don't know, man. I think Bob would not, but I bet you Ekblad would. Ekblad seems to me like if he could get butthurt enough to be like, fine.
To the right team that will take him.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ekblad is not going to go to Arizona, a cellar dweller. He wants to win a cup.
Yeah.
I think Detroit, I've said this before, Detroit's an up-and-coming team. And, right across the bridge from Windsor, Ontario, Dana, Windsor.
I was waiting for that part.
not Barry, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody's kind of on the same page. We need a winning streak. Yeah. And I don't know if 10 games is possible, but 7 games in a row is definitely possible. As far as the home game goes, Billy told me, I think we have the last 32 games. We have 20 at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up now.
We definitely have to win. We have to win a majority of those home games. I'd say 80% of those home games. We're gonna have a clunker every once in a while. The team.
Okay.
We got Tampa coming up, but the team that I think is going to give us our best competition is Colorado.
Right.
And thank you, Dana, for the ticket. I appreciate that. And that's the next game I'm going to be going to.
So my thought is, we've got this little bit of a run here. Stay above water. Don't get any further behind. Stay within striking distance. Then we start off February 20th. and Ducks at home, Sabres at home. We go to Tampa, and then at home, Predators, Penguins, Knights, Blackhawks, Jets, Canadians, Devils. That streak of games there. If this team's going to put together a 7, 8, 9, 10 game run, that's it. That's your time. That's your moment to do it.
Yep.
There's some tough games in there, but there's also some winnable games. And
Yep. Yep. Most of them are really good teams.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what the boys have. I mean, it's all heart. It's all desire. It's, how much do they want to get into the playoffs? And that's the goal.
Right.
Just, get in the playoffs and see what happens. Roll the dice. And as far as Duclair coming back, that's going to be the big question mark. Is he going to be the 34 goal scorer that we saw last year? Or is it going to take him a while to, get back what he had? I mean,
right.
Achilles injury is just, skating is the whole game.
Yep.
If you can't skate, I mean, look at Ekblad.
Right.
I mean, anyway, let me get off that subject.
Yeah. So tell us about your date tonight.
No, I think
no.
Anyway, I'm waiting for the text. Obviously, I'm in my t-shirt, so I
yeah.
At any time I might cut my feed off because I gotta get ready.
Speaking
she's
of
nice.
your date,
Nice gal.
Speaking of your date,
are
you groomed? Did you take care of things with the Manscaped lawnmower? We're good to go. Now, can
you
we
gotta use the guide?
You gotta use the guide.
You gotta use the guide.
Yes.
Don't want any nicks.
Now, can we get a live stream of her reaction? Can we get a review from her? Because at least that way, that would help. That would help. If we're trying to get sponsors, we want to prove to them that we are willing to go above and beyond. And a live stream reaction, I'm just saying, it's not been done. I'm sure.
Yeah,
probably for a reason.
She's from. Let's just say she's from one of the old Soviet Union countries. So she's not a big hockey fan.
Really? That's interesting.
If things progress, then I'll be taking her to her, first game. We'll see what happens. But had one casual date, a little meet and greet, everything, clicked, and we'll see what happens. So far, she hasn't texted me like, we're on, but
it's okay.
She was moving today, so
right.
She's kind of busy. But
I had a date yesterday at the river, but they're short, they're hairy, they slobber a lot, and all they want me to do is throw sticks. So it was a different kind of a date. But I tell you what, if I don't take them, they bitch at me. They're bitching. You know what I mean? That's for sure. So, all right. So
this was a great idea.
Yeah,
we do this more often.
Yep.
We have some real dedicated subscribers. Obviously, some diehard fans, and like I said, it's nice to put the faces to the names.
Yep, to put the faces with the names. So
I'm curious to see what Randy's going to say. Obviously, we got a good take from Billy, and that's one thing that makes Flying Fluffy Hockey the #1 Panther fan podcast in the world. Getting those guys on. I mean, who else gets Billy Lindsay and Randy Mola? Nobody.
Very, 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 very lucky I am. I was talking with Kyle about that earlier. Just genuinely appreciate all the support, guys. Shocked to get that email from Manscaped. I thought
so why don't you read it?
Yeah, let me get it open
I'm
here.
curious to see what they said.
What he said was, let me find it. What he said, it's very, very short. He just says, "Hi, Eric. I have awesome news. I've been cleared to offer you $75 a month plus additional free product for February, March, and April. Let me know if that works for you. I'll send over the paperwork." And that was it. Very short and to the point. So you all did that. And the good thing here is that we haven't even been working it that hard because I didn't want to overdo it. You know what I mean? I didn't really know what to expect. You guys made that happen. So now we get to have a little bit more fun with it. Now we can kind of settle in and have a little bit of fun with it. So yeah, I got a 3-month contract. Exactly, Jameson.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with some new shtick.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm gonna do a review and everything like that. So, all right, y'all. I need to go eat my dinner. I saved dinner for after this. So 90 minutes in, we're ready to go. Stu's getting ready to go. And appreciate everybody coming out genuinely. Thank you all so much for all the support. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcasts. This is the first full week of them. So I hope you guys are enjoying those. I know I'm enjoying doing them. And yeah, that's it. So today's Wednesday. I think Colin and I are going to go to the auction tomorrow night, and then we'll be back Friday night with the skills, and Saturday with the All-Star game and everything like
Yeah,
that.
well, the game is not what it was. I always liked the 5-on-5.
Right. Yeah.
But, the skills competition is fun.
Yeah. It'll be fun. We'll have fun with it, and we're doing more of these. Absolutely.
Before I forget.
Before we forget.
Listen, guys, it's your turn to participate in the Randy, I don't know what you want to call it, interview, whatever.
Yeah.
So send your questions in to Eric at flyingfluffyhockey@gmail.com, and we'll pick a few of the best ones.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely send your questions in. So flyingfluffyhockey@gmail.com. All right, everybody. Enjoy your night. Really appreciate all the support. Thank you again for all the super chats. Everybody coming on, being a big part of this. Can't thank you all enough. And I'll be back tomorrow with more content. We'll see you then. Have a good night.